there was this parang a balanced mix of you're contented but you're not yet satisfied. Not that because you're not grateful or anything, but I think it's because you see the hardships of your family. You know that pwede pang umangat yung buhay namin.
Pwede pang mas maging madali.
Pwede pang mas maging comfortable, and it's really sa love ko for them na parang gusto ko maranasan din nila yung makapag relax. Kasi yung family ko, bro, ano talaga kung may definition ng blood, sweat, and tears. And at the same time, even if wala kami helper, wala kaming ganyan, wala kaming maraming pera, they always made sure that mag-aral lang kami. Na-pamper kami in a way na aruga. Hindi man pera, hindi man lavish lifestyle, but I think we were very pampered through love and care and service.
Yeah.
So yun. So yun yung Eman that grew up into an Eman that is also a dreamer. I think doon nag-start yung mga pangarap ng isang Eman.
Welcome to the Homegrown Podcast, where we shine a spotlight on inspiring stories from respected professionals, creators, and community leaders. The show dives into real talks on career, growth, relationships, and the hustle of building something meaningful. Whether you're chasing your passion or navigating your path, the Homegrown Podcast is here to motivate, represent, and remind you greatness can start right at home. In this episode of the Homegrown Podcast, we're joined by a fellow CNHS graduate, a valedictorian, a former badminton teammate, one of the 10 outstanding Boy Scouts of the Philippines, and someone many people knew as the Wonder Kid growing up. He started his career as a junior SEO specialist before eventually becoming the founder and CEO of Beyond Studios and co-founder of Nothing to Lose. But beyond the titles and accomplishments, he's also a man deeply rooted in his Christian faith. So let's all welcome Eman Gregorio.
Hello. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Doc Miko.
Thank
for
you sa
inviting me here.
Thank you sa pagpunta, Eman. Yeah. So, napakarami mong ginawa.
Yeah, thank you for that very generous introduction.
So, yeah. So, before anything else, so, kamusta ka?
Okay naman. Actually, galing ko ngayon sa isang event that we hosted for one of my businesses with my co-founders, yung Nothing to Lose. So, we'll be talking about it later.
Yeah. So, medyo busy ba the past few...
Super busy actually. Kaya kanina, it was actually a breather kanina umaga dahil birthday ng isang baby sa community namin sa Miss Sofia in Capitol Hills. So that was the first time ulit na nakapag-spend time with friends and community after many weeks of really grinding. Daming work. Yeah.
So how does a day ba usually ng isang Eman Gregorio?
Okay, look like for me, no? Kasi ako naman, wala akong set time schedule. Parang I left the 9 to 5 to work 24/7. Sabi nila. So wala akong set na time. But usually, what I do is, kasi I sleep late, natutulog ako mga 3 a.m. na kasi I usually work at night. So pagkagising ko either mga 8 a.m. na yan or 9. Then pagkagising, I do my quiet time. And then mga emails, check na mga things to do for the day. Tapos I have lunch. Usually kumakain ako sa may baba ng kasi there's like a mini restaurant dun sa may kung saan ako nakatira. Tapos sometimes I'd also do a 1-hour basketball session sa may kung saan ako nakatira dun, may basketball court dun kasi I need it for my sanity. And then tuloy yung work. Tapos minsan kung may kailangan puntahan, yan. But yeah, usually ganun. Tapos paggabi, magko-call kami ng girlfriend ko. Kasi right now she's working overseas eh. Kasi meron kaming set time na at this time magko-call tayo. Everyday yun.
Everyday,
Yes.
So work muna ng sobrang haba and then dapat everyday meron kang babe time sa huli, no?
Yes, bebe time yun.
Bebe time.
Kasi yun talaga parang constant communication na sa isang relationship, especially LDR, you need to really have that commitment to spend time and keep on having that constant communication.
Yeah. So before introducing all your mga businesses and all, so let our watchers or viewers know about your story. So who is Eman ba? Like, ano ba yung roots mo? How did your family see you?
Nice. Thank you for that. I love that question. So before, parang when I grew up as a kid, kasi pinanganak ako sa Maynila. And then lumipat kami sa Tuguegarao. My parents also are not from Tuguegarao. So my mom is Kapampangan. My dad is from Pangasinan. So pero nag-start sila ng parang buhay. Bumukod sila sa mga relatives and went to Tugue. Tapos I studied doon din sa Tuguegarao North Central. And then later on sa Cagayanhay, which ikaw din. Kasi nung first year ako, fourth year ka, ikaw yung senior ko nun.
Senior mo ko nun.
Yes, I still remember that. Tapos, how did I grow up in Tugue? It was very humble. Humble, but there were, I think, dun ako nag-start actually. Yun yung unang glimpses of people seeing my potential, I guess. And it took a village talaga to raise me. Daming tao na nag-advocate for me and my family. Kasi yung family ko, ang ginagawa nila is they actually sell food products. Nagtitinda sila ng mani, ng yema. So,
as in mani talaga?
Mani, yes. Yung mani na, alam mo, coated peanut tsaka adobo, ganyan. Tapos nagbebenta ng yema, polvoron, iba-iba. Tapos, at hindi ito yung malakihan like ano lang siya, kung nasa public school ka, alam mo yung feeling na may bibiling ka na yema pag sa kantin, kami yung gumagawa nun. Binebenta yun ng mama ko, ng papa ko. Tapos pag uwi namin sa bahay, tutulong-tulong kami ng family ko na gawin yun. Tutulong kami mag-pack ng mga mani habang nag-aaral, ganyan. And then, so ganun yung buhay ko. Tapos I was also one of the people sa family namin. Nagde-deliver ako ng mga mani na yun.
Ilang taon ka nito?
As early as grade 3, nagde-deliver na ako eh.
Talaga?
Oo. And hindi ako nahihiya kasi. Yun naman sa akin, hindi ako mahihiyain. Even if yung mga classmates ko, parang mahiyaman sila. I never felt like I was inferior. Parang I was just very confident. I knew na my parents are working hard eh. Parang yun yung mas proud ako kesa sa wala kaming, kesa sa ikakahiya ko na wala kaming pera. Proud ako that I have really great parents. And I have a sister also that's very loving. So yun, kahit very simple yung family namin, I was very content. I was very proud of my family. But at the same time, I was also hungry for more. So there was this parang a balanced mix of you're contented but you're not yet satisfied. Not that because you're not grateful or anything, but I think it's because of you see the hardships of your family. You know that pwede pang umangat yung buhay namin.
Pwede pang mas maging madali.
Pwede pang mas maging comfortable, and it's really sa love ko for them na parang gusto ko maranasan din nila yung makapag relax. Kasi yung family ko, bro, talaga kung may definition ng blood, sweat, and tears. Yun. Every day, literally, kahit walang day off yan, morning to gabi, magigising ako, nagusing na sila, nag-work na sila. Matutulog ako, nag-work pa sila. So, ganun yung nakagisnan ko na buhay. And at the same time, even if wala kami helper, wala kaming ganyan, wala kaming maraming pera, they always made sure that mag-aral lang kami. Na talagang na-pamper kami in a way na aruga. Hindi man pera, hindi man lavish lifestyle, but I think we were very pampered through love and care and service.
Yeah.
So yun. So yun yung Eman that grew up in Tugue. An Eman that is also a dreamer. I think yun. Doon nag-start yung mga pangarap ng isang Eman.
So, nung time na yun, naalala ko yun si Sir Santi. Yes, shout out to Sir Santi.
Yes, hi, Sir Santi.
I think siya yung isa sa mga people who really raised you also kasi siya yung coach mo sa badminton, siya yung teacher mo, and siya yung mga may hawak na mga kids na, di ba? Before nagtuturo ng badminton and all. Nagba-badminton ako before, and then nakita kita before noon Malit ka pa lang, grade school ka pa lang, tapos ang jolly mo, tapos nag-Cagayan High ka na, nag-badminton ka din, nandun. Tapos I think I remember dati, SSG tayo nun, di ba?
Yes.
Yeah, I think ikaw yung nasa first year representatives ko.
Yes.
Ikaw yung leader nun, di ba?
Yes.
Naalala ko yun. So, very memorable ka as a person sa akin. And then, nag-scouting ka din. Nag-boy scout ka din. Lahat ginawa mo. No? So, at that time, very dreamer ka na nung time na yun. Like, hardworking ka na. Because of your parents na nakita mo yung how hard workers they were. No? So, when did you realize na parang you had such talent?
Oh. When did I realize that parang may potential, something like
May
that?
potential sa kung ano mang ginagawa mo.
I think I was just really parang fan ako of learning So parang ganun. Doon nag-start siya. Parang kasi wala naman akong notion before of ranking. Parang meron kang kwento yung magulang ko na kasi nung grade 1 ako, parang medyo na politika kami. Pero kasi nga, hindi kami mayaman, ganun. Tapos yung classmate ko, mahilig lang talaga akong matuto. So yung mga math, ganyan. Sinuturoan ko yung mga classmates ko. So yung katabi ko, nangongopya sa akin yun. Nangongopya siya. Pero, top 3 siya. Tapos, top 7 ako. Pero wala lang sa akin yun. Pero one time daw, parang nagkaroon ng recognition day. Sabi ko dun sa photographer, kuya, bigay mo ko ng ribbon. Kasi pag may ribbon ka, kukuhanan ka Bigyan mo ko ng ribbon kasi aakit ako mamaya. Yun pala, hanggang top 5 lang yung umaakyat.
So, hindi ka umakyat?
So, hindi pala ako umakyat, pero tumatak yun sa photographer niya, kinanta sa mama ko. Yung si Eman, sabi niya, picture ka daw siya kasi ranking daw siya. So, doon pa na parang, so nataka lang ako na bakit sila yung umakyat? Sa utak ko to, kasi wala akong idea of competition or anything. Iniisip ko lang, bakit sila yung umakyat? Tinuturoan ko tong mga to. Parang ganon. So, yun. And then, nung grade 3 ako, parang naglalabanan kami for qualification kung sino yung magiging contestant for Science Quiz B. Tapos, lahat ng rounds, ako yung number 1. Tapos yung isang round, parang number 2 ako. Tapos, ang nakuha, yung hindi naman nangopya, pero siya yung nag-number 1 doon sa round na yun. Pero the rest, ako yung nag-number 1. Tapos, kasi, tapos hindi ko tanggap. Hindi ko tanggap. Pumunta ako sa teacher ko. Grade 3 ako nito. Sabi ko lang, ma'am, kung pwede pong i-reconsider mo. Hindi ko lang, siyempre mas batang terms. Pero sabi ko lang na I wanted to have another chance. Kasi for me, number 1 ako sa lahat ng rounds Tapos isang round lang na parang so yun. Pinagalitan niya ako na ikaw, nagmamagaling ka, gano'n. Magaling ka pa sa akin. Pero syempre ako, hindi naman sa yun yung intention ko. But I just knew na kaya ko Kaya ko kahit paano. Na ma-represent yung school. Tapos, nagkaroon kami ng parang tiebreaker ng kaibigan kong yan, classmate kong yan. Tapos, ang eventually, nanalo ko dun sa tiebreaker na yun. It was held another day. Parang nagkaroon pa ng review muna kami daw. So, parang nagkaroon ng show-off.
Para doon?
Oo, para doon. And then, nangyari, pinili ako nung teacher na maging contestant. Tapos, long story short, I actually went to win that Quiz B sa division level. So, kasi wala akong regional nun
Tama nga yung confidence mo.
Oo. So,
kaya
yun
mo talaga.
I guess yun yung mga first times. Pero eventually, doon nag-start. Grade 3 ako nag-top 1 Kasi grade 1, 7th place ako. Grade 2, I think I was 4th. Tapos grade 3, hanggang 4th year na, nag-first place na ako nun.
Pero paano mo ginagawa yun? So, nag-work ka sa gabi, Tapos nag-aaral ka din.
Um,
Siyempre, tinutulungan mo yung family mo, diba? So, ilang
Yeah.
hours na yun? So, puyat ka or what?
Ito, medyo connected to sa magiging UP story ko kasi I think this is probably a mix of my personality, my upbringing, and the different factors that I had in my life. I never really had study habits. Hindi ako nagkaroon ng ganung habits. But I think the reason why I was able to do well in school is I always listened. Parang during lecture, hindi man ako nagno-notes, lagi akong nakikinig. As in, sobrang curious ko sa mga sinasabi ng teacher, lagi ako nagtatanong. Kasi I really love learning. So kahit hindi ko siya kailangan i-review, maalala ko siya. Kasi nakinig ako at nagtatanong ako. So parang wala akong maalala na study habits that I had. So pagka uwi sa bahay, maglalaro na after tapos tutulong sa bahay. Tapos marami akong mga ginagawa kahit nung bata ako. Marami akong tinatry ng mga bagay-bagay. So parang yung studying, it's just a part of my life. Pero I think that also gave hindi ako na burn out as a kid. Kaya na-enjoy ko yung learning. That's why it was parang naging beneficial siya for me. At least sa mga earlier years of my life. Pero nung sa UP, hindi na yun gumana. Or later, we'll talk about that.
I think yun yung difference natin. Ako naman, lagi kasi ako wala sa school. Lagi ako na-excuse. Lagi ako may training ng badminton or preparation for contest. So wala ako dun sa mismong lecture. So hindi ko siya maaaral. So kailangan kong i-photocopy yung notes ng mga classmate ko. Aaralin ko siya sa bahay. Tapos minsan magpapa-tutor pa ako kasi isipin mo, aaralin ko yung mismong coverage ng exam in 1 week dahil galing akong Kavra, galing akong tournament. Tapos gusto ko din maging top and all. So parang medyo mas pressure sa akin at that time.
To study.
I wouldn't say na burnout ako nung time na yun, pero I vividly remember na kunwari 1-2 months tayo sa Kavra, 1 month tayo sa Kavra, tapos babalik tayo, exam na.
Oo.
Tapos lahat yun, 8 subjects, aaralin mo.
Kailangan ma-balance mo siya.
Thankful din ako sa mga classmates ko kasi pinapahiraman nila ako ng notes and all. And nagulat din ako na parang nagigets ko naman siya nung talagang binabasa ko siya on my own.
Yeah.
So, nakakaingit yung mga people like you na kaya nyong maalala agad yung topic or like may visual memory kayo. Like may memory kayo na ganun para masagutan yung exams na yun.
Actually, yun. I think mas apply yun nung elementary ko. Kasi high school same tayo ganun din. Especially 3rd year, 4th year.
Oo.
Parang mas marami pa yung excuse natin kaysa sa meron tayo sa class. Extra challenge yun. But I still remember there was one time I went to Japan for an exchange student program.
Genesis din ba?
Genesis, yes.
Genesis.
Tapos, so 3 weeks na akong wala sa school or more. Tapos, so nasa Japan ako. Tapos nagulat si Ma'am Pax, yung teacher natin, yung advisor ng 4th year. Biglang, may assignment kasi sila sa physics. So biglang, about yung mga concave, convex, mga ganyan. Tapos biglang meron akong napasang assignment. Nasa Japan ako. Parang sabi ni Ma'am Pax, ang galing naman nitong si Eman. Nasa Japan siya pero nakapasa siya ng assignment. Yun pala, tong dalawa kong tropa nakatabi ko sa table, si Camille siya kasi Eliza, ginagawan ako ng assignment. Hindi ko sinabing gawan nila ako yun pala, naaawa kasi sila sa akin. Parang, kasi wala na siyang mga assignments. So, ginawan nila ako. Pero ang nangyari, na-zero sila tuloy dun sa...
kasi parang lying yun.
Oo, parang ba't nila ako ginawan? Although, So, good naman yung tensions.
Good nga yun.
Nakakatawa ng puso. Until now, we still talk about it. Isa na core memory namin. Pero actually, yung mga people like si Camille and Eliza, and there are so many, Sir Santi, sobrang daming tao, na really these people really advocated for me growing up. It really took a village to get to where I am today. I mean, dami ko pang tatahakin, pero grabe talaga yung belief and the faith that I got from people, the support for me and my family. Kaya nakakataba ng puso na seeing people na rooting for you, yung mga until now very, very thankful ako.
What began as a small pediatric clinic has now grown into a dedicated space for healing. from one doctor to a team. From serving children, parents, and even grandparents. For 25 years, we've watched families grow, and now it's time we grow with them. At Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic, our foundation is built on values that define how we care, how we lead, and how we grow. We lead with compassion, we strive with excellence, and we embrace innovation. Our vision moving forward is to become your family's one-stop healthcare partner, a clinic built around your life. These are more than words, they are who we are. At Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ellen May P. de Guzman.
I'm Mylene Medrano Kilang.
I'm Dr. Christine Campos S. Alona.
Dr. Iverson S. Cruz.
And I am Dr. Minerva B. Malilin, your trusted pediatrician.
Our vision is to be a trusted family-oriented, multi-specialty clinic known for quality of service, patient-oriented care across all ages. Because your health matters at every age and every season. Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic. Healthcare that grows with you.
Ang dami mo kasi na-achieve nung time na yun. Nung nag-Boy Scout of the Philippines ka, di ba? Tapos nag-Genesis ka pa. Tapos, nag-ano ka ba? 10 Outstanding Youth Leaders.
Yes.
Sa Tugigaraw.
Third year ako nun.
Meron pa ba yun?
Hindi ko alam kung meron pa.
Yeah.
Nagano din ako yung Cagayano Youth, Tosi.
Oh, same. Oh.
Yeah.
Almost same. As in, kung ano yung ginawa mo, parang yun din ang ginawa ko. So, yeah. Nahirapan ka ba to like sustain that reputation of being that kid? Like, meron bang pressures yun? May added pressure ba yun? Or like, was it natural sa'yo na gawin yun?
It's a mix of yes and no. Kasi yung hindi ako na pressure sa part na as I love doing it eh. I love learning, I love pumunta sa mga contest. At hindi ako gusto pumunta sa contest dahil gusto kong makipag-contest. Gusto ko yung feeling of teaming up with my classmates, tapos makikipaglaban ka sa iba-ibang mga region. Gusto ko yung ganong,
Saya,
yung
no?
grind na yun. Gusto ko yun. Yung mga may memories ka, pupunta ka sa magfa-fly kayo to another city, and then, so gusto ko yung preparation, even mga research project. Gusto ko yung ganon. So, yun siguro hindi nakaka-pressure na part. Yung pressuring part naman is more internal. Kasi, because I grew up with this kind of opportunity. Kasi once in a lifetime, yung being in that position to be excellent, to be a stellar, ganon. Parang mas nagkaroon ako ng muwang, parang narealize ko na, shucks, I have this opportunity to help my family. Parang, ang internal pressure siya, na feeling ko, ako yung aahon sa family ko. Hindi naman, never nila yung sinabi sa akin, never nilang verbalize yun na, Eman, ikaw ang bahala sa amin. Sila nga yung type of parents na hindi ka ipe-pressure eh. Pero because of the love that we had as a family, my love for them, parang I always had that internal pressure na hindi ako pwedeng mag-fail. Hindi ako, kailangan masustain ko yun mga yun, achievements and all. And hindi lang masustain, dapat higitan ko lagi. So, parang ganun. So yun, parang even talking about the TOBS, yung 10 Outstanding Boy Scouts, yung internal pressure sa akin nun was you guys, yung mga TOBS ahead of me, I had to become 1-2 kasi every year nananalo ang
Every year
Cagayan,
nananalo
diba?
na, no?
Yeah. But at the same time, there was also a reality check for me na itong mga to, mga anak sila ng mayaman eh. Guess ba? Yung parang, una-una, very excellent pa kayo. Tapos meron pa kayong parang may ganong support system. And, shucks, wala akong magagawang ganon. Wala akong support system na ganon, at least. Na financial or anything. So may ganong parang pressure sa akin. Pero,
Nagawa mo pa rin.
Yung narealize ko na parang, at siguro yung ito na yung ano dito na papasok yung, alam kong, ay mayroon din akong, si God ang bahala sa akin. More than anything else, it's not gonna be me who will sustain this. Or, it's the favor of the Lord in my life, which I have always experienced growing up. Parang, kung meron man akong tagline sa sarili ko, it's, parang iba yung miracles ni Lord sa life ko from then to now. Kaya, even looking at the future, I can be confident na, hindi, meron kaming history ni Lord Kumbaga sa di ba pag may kaibigan ka, alam mong makasama mo siya lagi. Alam mong hindi ka ibiguin nun O kaya, let's say, even in business, if there's a bank, let's say, tapos there's a creditor, tapos tong creditor, tong umutang na to, let's say nag-umutang, nagbabayad siya on time. Alam mo, pag nag-umutang siya ulit, magbayad pa rin siya on time Kasi meron siyang history. So, ganun yung history ko with the Lord. I always, parang tested and proven na lagi akong ina-advocate ni Lord. So, parang, that was one, yung sa Tobs. May kwento pa nga dyan na, yung Gawad Tobs, meron kasing, di ba may,
Yung project na...
di ba sa 10 Outstanding Boy Scouts, 10 ang mananalo sa buong Pilipinas. Pero there's also an award that will be given to only one.
Yeah.
Hindi ko alam na nag-exist yung project, yung award na yun actually. Yung alam ko lang yung 10 Outstanding. So, meron palang isa doon. Tapos, lahat sila aware sila. Bakit hindi sinabi sa akin doon sa Surfring? Hindi ko to alam. May mga projects kami na ginawa ko lang siya kasi I felt like it will be beneficial for Cagayan High, sa high school natin. Yung ginawa kong project nun was mga emergency fire extinguishers. So, gumawa kami ng mga fire extinguishers, nagdala ka na gamit ng sand. Kasi wala namang pera. Gumawa kami ng mga pail, mga sand. Naglagay kami sa around the campus. Tapos nag-information dissemination kami na, okay guys, pag may sunog, ito ang gagamitin natin. Parang ganun. So, yun ang pinasa ko na turns out, yun ang...
Nanalo ka pala
yun,
sa Gawad?
Tobs pa, yes.
What?
And, grabe yung mga projects bro na kasama ko na dun sa award na yun, na kalaban ko. Grabe talaga, like, ang mamahal. Yung napondohan talaga. Pero, yun yung mga one of the things na parang, si Lord na to. Pero I also think na it's because ginawa rin namin siya, even yung kasama kapwa ko, mga Boy Scouts sa Cagayan High na, because we knew that it's gonna help the school. Ginawa namin yung hindi para sa makasali dun sa contest, but it was something that we knew na makaka-help dun sa buong student tree. So yan, parang yun yung mga some stories that I can recall. Kasi ngayon about sustaining that reputation, it was a bit difficult, especially nung college na. Yun yung pinaka-challenging for me kasi I felt like yun na yun I can't fail. Pag nag-fail ako, na-fail ko rin. Parang feel ko, my failures equate to me failing my family. Which is a lie pala. Hindi pala totoo yun. My failures don't dictate who I am as a person. So, pag mistake siya, mistake lang siya. Hindi ibig sabihin mistake ka. Nagkamali ka lang. Kinulang ka lang. Bawi ka lang ulit. Ganun.
Naalala ko tuloy. I mean, minsan, nagve-visualize ako yung high school life natin. Parang grabe yun, no? Sobrang saya, mix of sobrang saya, dami nating ginawa sa Boy Scout.
Yes.
Tapos imagine mo, nung high school ka na inawardan ka ni Binay, ni Ayala. Siya rin ba yung nag-award sa'yo?
Siya din, yes, siya din.
Parang naalala ko yun, parang grabe pala yung ginagawa ko nung high school. So, na-shake hands mo yung Vice President of the Philippines.
Kasi nung fourth year ako, part ako nung ako yung representative ng buong Luzon sa scouting. So every month, I would fly to Manila to be part of, para sa meeting ng executive board. So nandun si Binay. Actually, meron akong nag-viral, quote-unquote viral na photo na sobrang pagod ko. Tulog ako sa tabi ni Binay. Pero kasi sobrang grabe yung week na yun. Talagang dami kong ginawa for school. May contest ako na sabay-sabay. Tapos alam ko periodic test din namin. Tapos I had to fly to Manila. So, gets kita bro. Parang alam mo yung ang daming gagawin.
Ang dami palang
Sobrang kasaya ng high school.
Parang dati, every month, may ginagawa ko. Kunwari, yung December, yung Japan. Tapos, January, magkakavraan na. Ay, hindi. City meet muna. Tapos magkakavra, tapos magpapalaro. Tapos may broadcasting pa. Yung NSPC,
Yes.
DSPC.
Journalism, yes.
Oh, lahat yun gagawin mo. Tapos may SSG pa.
Tama. Sabay-sabay, no?
Talagang in-spread natin yung selves natin thinly nung high school. To the point na I think nung college medyo nag-chill na lang ako. Hindi ko naman masasabing na-burn out ako. Pero parang feeling ko, parang shit, mag-relax muna ako kasi napansin ko na kulang yung time ko sa family. I was always out na parang every month nasa contest ako and all. Pero in terms of yung pressure naman, sa part ko naman, I agree dun sa same yung parents natin. Hindi nila kami pinapressure kung anong gusto namin maging. Pero medyo automatic na kasi doctor na sila.
Tama.
So, parang medyo sure ball na magdo-doctor ka dapat, di ba? Kasi nasa industry na kayo. Nasa healthcare industry na kayo. Yun na yung madali. Yun na yung naset nila for you.
Na-pave
na nila na way. May patients na kayo. May clinic na kayo. So, growing up, for me naman, there was no other way. Pero no other path to go pero mag-doctor. Kasi it's a noble profession. You help other people and hindi ka magugutom kasi hindi ka talaga magugutom, libre pagkain sa hospital. And also it made sense for me to go to the path. Pero going back, walang pressure from the family to excel. Pero may internal pressure.
Yes.
May internal pressure na dahil anak ka ni ganito, kailangan mong mataas. I mean, siguro sa akin na lang yun. Parang ayoko silang ipahiya. Ayokong bumagsak. I vividly remember nung may isang bagsak ako subject. TLE. Parang 69 lang kasi ata.
TLE? Ano, fourth year?
Hindi, grade school pa ata
Okay,
yun eh.
okay.
Tapos parang hiyang-hiya na ako sa dad ko. Sabi ko, Daddy, may bagsak ako. Parang gano'n. Parang yung kinailangan ko pa siyang itabi. Tapos, Daddy, may bagsak ako.
Ano ba, parang pinrhyme mo muna.
Pinrhyme ko. Pero okay lang naman sa kanya. Pero ako, pinapressure ko yung self ko na parang hindi pwede. Parang gano'n. So,
Yeah. Actually, that's a very interesting topic tong about internal pressure. Kasi yun na rin, sinabi mo na bumagsak ka. Tapos turns out, hindi pala nagalit yung dad mo. Sa akin din, nung parang sa experience ko, nung may mga failures ako in life, na-realize ko, mahal din pala ako ng family ko with a net of my achievements. Parang me as an eman lang, as their anak, mas mahalaga pala yun. So I think marami din sa makakinig sa atin dito. Maybe they have internal pressures also. Pero I think one of the advice that I can give is, let's learn to trust the love of the people around us. Yung parang trust that they love us for who we are first. Not for what we can give. So, yun, medyo random advice, but I think it's very important.
Hindi naman sana we were getting validation from the achievements na we were trying to achieve. Pero, napepave yung way natin to those achievements eh. Kasi especially si Dr. Linda P. Tungkol, who's gone na.
Yeah.
And rest in peace.
Sure, rest in peace.
Yeah. She was very supportive sa lahat ng gagawin. Actually, siya yung pumili ng school ko. Ng college. Kasi hindi ako nakapasa ng UP. Which medyo bad trip kasi dream ko all this time mag-UP. Take ako UST, take ako Ateneo. Siya yung nag-push sa akin mag-Ateneo. So, yung principal natin, siya yung nag-push sa akin. Ateneo ka, magtiwala ka sa akin. Nagtiwala ako, hindi nag-Ateneo ako and everything went well.
Yeah.
Sa'yo naman, paano mo na-decide kung anong course ang kukunin mo? How was your transition na mag-UP ka? Was it always part of the plan?
Nice. Before I answer that, si Ma'am Tungkol, may kwento lang ako sa kanya. Nakakamiss si Ma'am Tungkol actually. One of the best educators. Nung time niya, sobrang bait niya. Sobrang close kami nun. Kasi SSG president ako like you also. Parang pupunta ako sa office niya, makikipagkwentuhan lang kami about buhay. Mayroon, mas bibigyan niya sa akin yung french fries niya. Tapos kami yung last na batch na na-handle niya. after our graduation, just 2 weeks after, she passed away.
Talaga?
Yeah, parang or just 3 weeks. So nung graduation namin, grabe na pala, may sakit na pala siya nun. And I was happy I was able to honor her through my speech na si Ma'am Tungkol na ano. Anyway, so yun, going back to the question about UP, same. It's always been my dream. Hindi ko alam na nag-exist yung UP before eh. Nalaman ko na lang siya mga second year ko na.
Ako din, hindi ko alam
Oo,
na
may
exist
UP
yung
pala.
Ateneo.
Oo.
Kasi hindi ko alam may Ateneo pala. Tapos nung pumasa na ako ng exam, ang ganda nung papel. Parang ganda na to.
Oo, ang ganda, yung mga leaflet nila, no?
So, ganun tayo kalayo sa Manila na
Yeah,
parang,
kasi Tuguegarao talaga. Ang alam ko lang na nag-exist na college siguro, UST. Kasi sikat.
oh,
Mas alam ko pa na nag-exist yung Harvard, yung mga ganyan.
UST lang alam ko
UST
nun.
lang din yung alam ko.
Dahil sa UAP, napapanood ko lang sila and all.
Tapos, yun pala may UP. Tapos, I still remember na second year ko, pupunta ako sa computer shop kasi wala kaming internet eh. Wala kaming internet sa house. So, pumunta ako sa coffee shop. I would watch videos sa YouTube about UP. Like, yung ikot, ang ganito ng UP. Si Maha Salvador nandito. Ganun. Although, sa video lang yun, sa pala serye.
Kamag-anak ni Ma'am Kunanan yun.
Talaga?
Si Maha Salvador.
Oh, wow!
Oo.
Artistahin pala ang generation ng kung ano. And then, so simula nun, tsaka, yun nga, yung mga, sila Kuya Gian Ventura.
Yeah,
diba,
yung mga
nag-UP
the best,
sila.
no?
So parang sabi ko, gusto ko din mag-UP. So, kinakabahan ako, sabi ko, hindi pwedeng hindi ako makapasa. Kailangan makapasa ako sa UP. Kinakabahan ako kasi hindi ako pala aral. Hindi ako pala study.
Pareho tayo kasi kahit yung review center, absent din ako.
Kasi busy ka din.
Busy din ako.
So yun, so parang hindi ako parang kinakabahan ako. Pero by God's grace naman, nakapasa ako sa UP. Yun na yung yung first choice ko kasi sa UP ay Econ, BS Econ. BS Econ. And then, Econ daw ang pag-pronounce, hindi Econ. Anyway, so BS Econ. So I was there for 2 years. Sa UP Diliman ako nag-stay. Then, nag-shift ako after that to BS HRIM. And then yun yung naging natapos ko sa UP.
Sabi nila yung UP daw was a bigger Cagayan National High School. Totoo ba yun?
I would say that. I would say that. Actually,
Yeah.
oo. Oo. Kasi yung Cagayan High, siya eh. Kung sinasabi natin yung UP is a microcosm of the Philippines, I think Cagayan High is a microcosm of UP.
UP.
Yeah. Siyempre may mga differences, of course. Pero same, different walks of life. Yung mga tao, iba-iba. Yeah.
Ano yung mga difficulties ba studying in UP?
Madami. One is, of course, I was away from my family.
Yeah.
Even if I grew up very independent. I'm a very independent person. Kasi, bata pa lang ako na nalabas na ako, maalis-alis na ako. Just sa personality ko rin, very independent. Pero, you still feel it eh. Kahit sabihin mo na kaya mo, iba yung feeling ng pagka balik mo sa room mo, wala doon yung pamilya mo. Ganyan. Tapos I felt like, bisita na lang ako sa bahay namin sa Tuguegarao. Kasi parang twice a year na lang ako nakaka-uwi eh. Kasi pagka-uwi ko, 1 week lang, 2 weeks, ganyan. O kakauwi lang ako pag Pasko. So, that's one of the difficult parts. 2, immature pa ako in many ways. I went to UP as a freshman. Nasa Japan ako nung first 2 weeks of UP. Parang pumunta ako sa World Jamboree. Naging representative ako
World Jamboree ka din?
Yeah, naging representative ako ng Philippines. Nilibre kasi ako ng scouting. So parang Japan, punta ako. Pero in hindsight, sana pala nag-no na lang ako. Kasi natamaan niya yung first 2 weeks of UP eh. And ang implication nun was, hindi ako nakapunta sa mga orientation, hindi ko nakita yung syllabus, yung ganyan. Hindi ko alam na may maximum absences pala sa UP. 6 absences pala, tanggal ka na. Tapos, Meron palang grading system, ganyan. So, pagdating ko ng UP, so behind na ako, di ba? 2 weeks na akong behind. Tumakbo pa ako ng chairperson ng Kalay. Yung Kalay is the dorm for UP freshies.
Okay.
So doon nag freshman dorm, doon nabuo ang Eraserheads. Doon nag-dorm si Ma'am Lenny Robredo. Marami. Institution siya sa UP. Ako, nasanay ako na may extracurricular. Alam mo yun.
Gets ko yun.
So, wala siya, nasa sistema ko siya. Nasa sistema ko. Pero, looking back, I think I was also looking for the significance. Na, nasanay kasi ako na I had the opportunity to serve, to lead. Pero yung other side nito is parang you wanted the fame. So parang meron palang part doon na parang gusto ko na important ako. So sobrang immature ko nung time na yon. And then I tumakbo ako sa Kalay. Landslide 580 yung residents, 540 yung bumoto sa akin.
So nanalo ka ba?
Nanalo ko sa Kalay, oo. Pero that was the most difficult season of my life talaga. So one, parang I had regrets na bakit ako tumakbo? I'm here in UP to study eh. And behind na nga ako 2 weeks na nga hahabol ako. Tapos tumakbo pa ako ng Kalay. Masakit din dito, I run independent kasi. Tapos yung mga nanalong iba, magkakakilala na sila. So, nililid ko, isang team na magkakakilala na. So, para akong outcast. Eventually, naging okay naman yon. Pero, that was difficult for me. So, that's one. Tapos, dahil wala akong study habits, hindi ko na gagawa yung mga kailangan gawin. Mas focus pa ako dun sa Kalay chairperson ko. Kasi I also had that parang not in a relationship but parang may magulong mga usapan nung time na yon sa buhay ko. Tapos long story short, I failed 2 subjects in my first semester. So imagine, from the Eman who was a double valedictorian, the people were thinking na ito yung future summa cum laude, ganun. Our future senator. Mga ganyan mga maririnig mo eh. Tapos biglang, I failed 2 subjects. And these subjects I'm good at.
Anong subjects yun?
Math. top contestant ako. Math. And econ.
Math din yun, di ba?
Oo. Yung econ pa nga nun, absent ako sa finals exam namin.
Kasi?
Ganun ako kasabaw. Ganun ako kalutang sa time na yon. Tapos yung math ko, maximum absences. So yun. So medyo very, very challenging. Those first two failures. I can say na yun siguro yung first ko na failure in life. Parang napatikman ako nung Pero reality check yun sa akin. Tas I had to, hindi pa nalaman ng parents ko from me. Nalaman pa nila sa ibang tao. Like, mga tao na hindi nila kilala. So pinag-uusap, alam mo yung parang, grabe, ganun baka inaabangan yung buhay ko na malalaman pa ng mga tao to from my parents. And sobrang layo ng connection, pero umabot sa kanila yung kwento. So, ganun yung pressure sa akin from our hometown. Not that I wanted to have that. Pero it's part of it eh. It's part of being rooted for, I think. So, nung time na yun, I was hurt, of course. Pero na-realize ko, nung mas nag-mature na ako years after, pressure is actually a privilege. When you have pressure, that means people believe in you. People see the potential in you. That's why there's pressure. So it's up to you how you will take it eh. Pero long story short, I think that those two failures grounded me back to God. Kasi hindi na pala okay yung mga intentions ko that time. So yung parang na-realize ko, hindi ko pala gusto ng fame. I just wanted to have a very peaceful life, a life that I get to impact people, positive impact. So after nun, parang hindi na after nun, yun yung malaking growth moment ko na from an Eman who wants the fame, and I think from an Eman who became more genuine, I think. Pero hindi natapos yung mga challenges ko kasi I felt like na-feel ko yung family ko, bumagsak ako. And hindi lang yun yung 2 bagsak 10 bagsak ang naging total ko na bagsak sa UP.
So, first year, 2.
First year, 2. Next year, magiging college scholar ko or university scholar. Next sem, magiging 2 bagsak ulit. So, never ko siyang pinagbaback-to-back na sem. Kaya hindi ako natatanggal sa UP.
So, nagiging scholar ka pa rin after the failure?
Oo na rin, nagdalawang failure ako. Next sem,
sobrang taas mo.
magiging okay yung sem ko. Tapos, next semester, babagsak akong 2 na naman. Tapos, mag-university scholar ako. Mga ganyan. So, parang, never tuloy akong muntik matanggal sa UP. Kasi bawal magkaroon ng back-to-back na ganun eh. Pero ganun naging challenging yung UP life ko. Na, I think even if people would try to fail 10 subjects, mahihirapan sila mag-fail ng ganung karami. Pero ganun ako ka-challenge that time. Then yun, because of that 2 failures, and the many failures, na ground ako na, Lord, 10 na yung bagsak ko sa UP. Hindi ko na magagawa yung pangarap ko para sa family ko. Pero I always had that feeling pa din na, Lord, ikaw na bahala sa akin. Kasi kung ako lang, hindi ko na nagawa eh. Bumagsak na ako eh. So, pakita mo naman sa akin na gagalaw ka pa rin.
What began as a small pediatric clinic has now grown into a dedicated space for healing. From one doctor to a team. From serving children, parents, and even grandparents. For 25 years, we've watched families grow, and now it's time we grow with them. At Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic, our foundation is built on values that define how we care, how we lead, and how we grow. We lead with compassion, we strive with excellence, and we embrace innovation. Our vision moving forward is to become your family's one-stop healthcare partner, a clinic built around your life. These are more than words, they are who we are. At Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ellen P. de Guzman.
I'm Mylene Medrano Kilang.
I'm Dr. Christine Campos S. Alona.
Dr. Iverson S. Cruz.
And I am Dr. Minerva B. Malilin, your trusted pediatrician.
Our vision is to be a trusted family-oriented multi-specialty clinic known for quality of service, patient-oriented care across all ages. Because your health matters at every age and every season. Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic. Healthcare that grows with you.
I think yung mga activities mo kasi na extracurricular activities mo during college, pwede rin kasing yun yung avenue mo to cope up with yung pagiging away from family, yung kumbaga yung homesickness mo. Kasi ako, naramdaman ko din yung naramdaman mo dun nung lumipat ako sa Manila eh. Kahit parang it's so close yet so far, like kaya naman siyang i-airplane one hour away yung Tugigaraw. Kaya naman, pwede naman sana ako umuwi na Saturday, Sunday, pero hindi ko ginagawa. Naramdaman ko yung sense of homesickness. And naging avenue ko dun yung pagiging part ko sa badminton team. So I just kept myself busy. Tapos sobrang sinipagan ko mag-aral and then badminton. Parang buti na lang may badminton ako then.
Outlet mo siya.
Outlet ko siya, which yun din naman ginagawa ko nung high school. So I think it was important sa akin. Sa nakikita ko sa'yo, feeling ko naging avenue mo yun para mag-cope up. Kasi wala yung family mo sanay ka na maraming community.
Yeah.
Tapos sa UP, parang feeling ko very independent mga tao. Walang pakialamanan sa isa't isa. Unless may org ka, na may friends ka doon sa org. Ganun. And if growing up, ilang taon ka pa lang nun? 16 ka pa lang nun, di ba?
Nag-UP ako, 15 ako.
Wala tayong grade 7 eh.
Oo.
So 15-year-old kid, pinadala mo sa Manila,
Grabe.
tapos pinag-UP mo. I mean, kahit sino naman siguro at this age, ilang taon na yung mga college students. Like, yung maturity level, yung expectations from you is a lot agad at that age, 15 years old, di ba? So, I
15
guess,
ako nag-UP. Crazy.
ngayon, looking back, buti lang di ako nag-UP kasi natatakot ako dun sa ilang years of possible pwede kang ma-delay. Siguro, it's one of the worst experiences. Siguro yung, ako naramdaman ko yun yung seeing other people graduate, nakabatch mo. Yung pinakamasakit. Yung ako kasi 5 years yung bio sa amin. So parang nung nakita ko yung 5 years yung bio, okay lang yan kasi what's another year na mag-school ka, may allowance ka naman, papasok ka lang, mag-aaral ka lang, and wala kang thesis. Yun kasi yung sa Ateneo, 5 years siya, yung bio. The rest of the schools, 4 years.
5 years.
So, kahit 5 years yun, tinanggap ko yun over a UST na may bio naman na 4 years.
4 years.
Or Lasal na may 3 years bio. So, sabi ko na lang sa sarili ko, okay, yung 5th year, wala namang thesis. Pwede ako mag-badminton or whatever. Which, ginawa ko, nag-Muay Thai ako. Pero nung 5th year na yun, nung nakikita ko na nag-graduate yung batchmates ko,
Na-feel mo
tapos
na.
nasa med na sila, na-feel ko na, dapat bang ginawa ko talaga yun or hindi? Pero no, it was part of the story kasi mas naging mature ako. Ilang taon na ako pumasok sa med, mas na-define niya na gusto ko maging doktor and all, despite the delay. Technically, delay na I chose. Yeah, so...
Na-solidify yung desire mo to be a doctor pala. Which is the most important.
Yeah, kasi at that time, nung 4th year, 5th year ko, parang gusto ko maging athlete Gusto ko mag-full-on Muay Thai fighter, athlete, whatever. Or like, gumawa ng iba aside from being a doctor. And then yung delay na yun helped me decide na, okay, feeling ko magdo-doctor lang talaga ako. So I think yun yung benefit of yung mga delays in our lives. Or like, it's part of the story. And the main reason why I invited you here, one of the main reasons why I invited you here, kasi maganda yung story mo Maganda, yung pagtingin ko sa mga failures is, what's the worst thing that could happen ngayon na naramdaman mo na yun, diba? Like, ano pang mahirap? Naramdaman mo na yung rock bottom
Yeah.
Bakit? There's
Only
nowhere
way but
to
up.
go but up, diba?
Yeah.
I mean, sa school, minsan mababa yung grades ko and all. Lately, sinasabi ko, nowhere to go but up. Nagiging masaya na ako yung gumaganon-ganon lang yung score ko. Hindi ako top, pero like gumaganon-ganon
You
siya.
get to have more better perspective Kasi parang mas naging grateful ka sa small things. When you've been to, kung nasa pinaka-sukdulan ka na nababa.
So, ganun siya. No? Ganun pala siya.
Yes.
So, any other things you would like to share about the UP life?
The UP, I still remember there was a time, parang 4th year, bago pandemic. Kasi nagka-pandemic, February. Bumalik na ng February something.
Anong year ka na ba nung
2020, I was 4th year.
Pandemic.
Oo. So hindi ko alam na yung pag-uwi ko noon, hindi na pala kami babalik. Kasi ang sabi lang, 1 week lang na suspension pala pandemic na.
Hindi ka umuwi ka to Gigaraw?
Oo, umuwi ako to Gigaraw. Pero I still remember, parang just a month before, I was walking along the Univ Oval. I was so tired. Then sabi ko lang sa UP, sa mga puno, parang, kasi parang dami ko parang meron pa akong 2 years bago mag-graduate or 1 year. Sabi ko sa UP, pasensya ka na hindi pa kita kayang mahalin sa ngayon. So it depicted the love and hate relationship that I had with UP. Because gusto ko nang makalabas. Ayaw ko na. Gusto ko nang matapos yung UP. Kasi gusto ko nang makatulong sa family ko. During that time, kasi I was in HRIM. The reason why I went to HRIM because I felt like that was the fastest route for me to help my family. So, yung thesis ko, yung parang agreement ko with myself is, mag-HRIM ako, pagkatapos ko ng HRIM, i-avail ko yung internship program ng HRIM students to the US. Kasi pag nag-HRIM ako sa US, pag nag-work ako sa US, makaka-uwi ako ng ganitong amount of money. During that time, it was 600,000 ang mauuwi ko. Kasi parang mag-work ako dun for a year eh. It was 600,000. Para iuuwi ko yun sa pamilya ko. At yun yung pag-umpisa namin ng negosyo. Pampalaki namin. So, very ideal. I had that notion na parang, okay, pumunta ko ng US, magtatrabaho ako doon. After 1 year, iuuwi ko sa pamilya ko, ibibigay ko sa family ko para panglago namin ng business. Pero, hindi nangyari yon kasi
Nag-pandemic.
So, walang aviation, there's no tourism. So, Lord, anong gagawin ko? How do I help my family? Ang hirap nun, bro, kasi yung schools na binabentahan namin ng Yema, wala, sarado. So, wala kaming pagkuhaan ng income. Actually, ng time na yon, the income came from my sister. Yun yung work niya kasi my sister is a CPA. Pero during that time, mag-start pa lang rin siya eh. Pero, ang galing, nag-provide sila. Kahit sobrang wala kaming pera, hindi ko naman na-feel.
Sobra yung pre-provide niya.
Oo, bro.
Sobra yung pre-provide niya.
Oo. Kaya yung, di ba sabi ko yung sa delays, kanina sabi mo.
Yeah.
Bro, kung hindi nangyari yung mga delays sa buhay ko, hindi nangyari yung mga nangyari ngayon.
Yeah.
Had I kung nag-graduate ako earlier in life, hindi ko na-discover yung space that I'm in. Hindi ko na-discover yung mga nangyari. Hindi nangyari lahat ng yun. So, ang galing lang ni Lord, bro, na perfect yung timing niya eh. Kung kahit sa tingin natin, hindi. Na parang, Lord, ang tagal naman, ang bagal nito. Pero, relax lang. Alam ni Lord kung paano siya gumagalaw. Kaya ngayon, chill na lang ako sa buhay. Kasi, chill in a way na parang, okay, marami pang gagawin, marami pang kailangan matapos. Pero,
nabigyan mo na ng bahay yung family mo eh.
Bro, yun talaga. Yun yung one of the greatest blessings talaga that I received from the Lord. Speaking of the bahay, just recently, January, nag-house blessing
Farming
kami, bro. House dedication kami. So, for context, we never had our own house. We lived as a family of 4. In a parang 20 square meter na apartment, bro. Walang tiles. Sa lapag ako natutulog. Yung tulugan ko, karton ng ref. Alam mo kung saan mo kinuha yung ref?
Legit?
Oo, yung karton ng ref. So imagine mo, pumunta ako sa school, valedictorian ako. Pupunta ako sa mga ibang lugar. Pero pag umuwi ako sa bahay namin, karton yung higaan ko.
Totoo?
Oo, bro. Karton na may kumot. Tapos yun na yun. Tapos may unan. Pero never akong nireklamo yun.
Yan, hindi ko alam yan. Hindi ko naman alam
Oo.
yun.
Ano yan? Fun fact lang.
Narinig ko na yung nagbebenta kayo, pero hindi ko naman alam yun.
Yeah. So so wala kaming kwarto. So yung pinagtulugan ko, pagkagising ko, yan na yung lababo. Baga wala namang partition yung bahay kasi 20 square meter lang. Pero growing up, bro, kahit ganun yung tulugan ko, sa totoo lang, masaya kami. Kasi bago kami matulog, magkukwentuhan kami ng pamilya ko. Masaya lang kami, nagkatawanan kami. Masarap magluto yung magulang ko, yung mama ko, inaalagaan niya kami. So hindi ko na feel na kulang eh. Hindi ko na feel na kulang talaga kahit ganun yung situation namin. Recently lang ako nagkaroon ng kutsyon, by the way. Nung 2022, first time kong matulog sa bahay namin na nakakutsyon. Nakapunta na ako ng US and different countries. Tapos nagkakutsyon ako. Pero nung nagkakutsyon ako, parang sabi ko, Mama, ang sarap pala magkakutsyon. Pero naging bonus na lang siya. Alam mo yun, parang, dahil alam ko ang feeling and masaya na ako sa karton, nung nagkaroon ako ng kutsyon, mas lalong masaya pa ako. At ngayon, nakatira ako dito sa Capitol Hills. Nakakama ako, bro. Parang wow.
May sarili kang bahay, may sarili kang space.
So, bonus na lang siya. Pero dahil grateful na ako dun sa mga maliliit na bagay, parang bonus na lang to lahat. So,
I think gusto kong makwento mo kung paano yung entry mo to the Web3 space.
Yes. Yung Web3 space kasi that's parang yun yung one of the biggest break that God gave me.
Mhm.
Kaya nangyari yung
Sa pandemic din yun,
Yes,
diba?
pandemic. So,
Bigyan mo sila ng context kung ano yung Web3 space and
so,
all.
2020, I was still in UP.
Mhm.
I was still in UP, still finishing my studies. Gusto ko nang matapos. Tapos, dahil wala nga kaming income, wala akong income, gusto ko makatulong sa family ko. Nag-intern ako, bro. Nag-work ako sa isang SEO company based in the US, in Portland. So yan, naging parang specialist ako doon ng SEO. Nagkaroon ng mass layoff. Natira ako, bro. 2 kami natira. Tapos, alam ko hindi ako pinakamagaling doon sa SEO kasi hindi naman ako SEO, bro. Doon lang ako kasi kailangan ko ng pera. Pero yung reason kung bakit ako in-retain nung CEO namin kasi pinapasaya ko daw yung mga meetings nila.
Talaga.
So parang, Eman, I retained you because you drive company culture. So, parang
I think same.
sabi ko, hindi ko alam kung matutuwa ako dito o parang hindi ako in-retain sa galing ko. Pero okay lang kasi I think yun yung charm din na binigay ni God. So yun yung kwento. So doon ako, I was there for 11 months. Medyo lost din ako, hindi ko alam kung anong ginagawa ko. So ginagawa pag meeting, pinapasaya ko talaga sila.
Ito sa Zoom to?
Puro Zoom.
Zoom?
Tapos for context din, ito yung mga favor na ni Lord sa akin, bro. Ang dami namin sa team, more than 20 kami sa team. Every month, magkakaroon kami ng team raffle. Yung mananalo sa raffle, isa lang mananalo ng 5,000 pesos. Out of the 11 months that I was there, nanalo ko 4 times sa raffle na yun. Ang dami namin, 20 kami, di ba? Parang, grabe, Lord.
Ano ginawa mo sa pera?
Iniipon ko siya. Kasi may gusto akong pag-ipunan for my family. So, kasi hindi mo na ako magastos eh. Hindi ako bumibili ng mga gamit-gamit. Ganyan. And then, fast forward, after mga 2021, February, parang sabi lang ng kaibigan ko na, nakita mo to? Nakita mo tong Lebron moment. Yun yung term, moment.
Yeah, naalala ko yun.
Sa Top Shot, NBA Top Shot.
NBA
Oo.
Top Shots.
Nabenta for 12 million pesos. Parang, Sabi ko, ano to? So, inaaral ko yung space, gano'n. 12 million. Sabi ko, araw-araw akong nanonood ng Lebron. Lahat ng YouTube ko, puro Lebron ng time na yun, So, di ko to alam. Parang gano'n. Kasi yung time na yun, yung binenta na 12 million pesos, binili lang niya for 8,000 pesos.
Yeah.
So, nabenta niya for 12 million. So, I was so baffled by that. Pero, instead of letting it pass, me as a learner, very curious about the world, anything, nag-deep dive ako, ano to? What is this? And then, I saw the world of Top Shot. So, ginagawa nilang parang collectibles yung NBA highlights. Tapos, ang dami nagbabash na screenshot ko lang yan, save ko lang yan eh. Pero because of my curiosity, there has to be a reason why this happens. And if it happens in the NBA, it happens, this mechanism can be applied to any other digital file.
Yes.
So, mas lalo ako nag-deep dive. And then, I discovered na may mga different blockchains pala. So, during this time, hindi pa sikat ang NFTs, ang Web3. Nag-i-start pa lang siya. Pero I was the one of the first people na I saw the idea and I saw the potential of it during that time. And then, sabi ko, kung kaya ko tong gawin ng mga NBA, ano kayang kasi meron pa pala, yung nangyari doon, may nakita ko na isang NFT collection called Space Buds, ganyan. So, bumili ako ng 2 piraso. 8,000 pesos isa. Time na yun, galing yun sa mga yung bayad ko sa SEO. Tapos pagkabili ko nun bro, yung 8,000 na yun, gustong bilhin sa akin for 200,000 kinabukasan.
Seryoso?
Oo. Um, ako tong si si someone na, wow, kung kayang bilhin to ng 200,000, may bibili pala ka ng mas mahal dito. Kasi kinabukasan agad may nag-offer eh. Then, what happened was, turns out yung binili ko pala na Space Buds, it's the first ever collection in one of the big blockchains, which is Cardano.
Cardano, yeah.
So yun. Pero instead of focusing on the money, parang ganyan, on the trading, buying and selling. Hindi kasi ako ganun eh. Hindi ako mahilig sa mga trade.
Ako yun yung focus ko nun.
Oo.
Nag-trade ako eh.
Parang mas nag-focus ako dun sa, why is this phenomenon happening? Parang ganon. Inaral ko yung, what motivates the people to buy this stuff? And then, meron akong, because of I'm an economist, nag-aral ako ng BS Econ, alam ko yung konsepto ng scarcity, supply, demand. Even in mahilig din ako magbasa-basa, so alam ko ang konsepto ng branding, ng positioning. Alam ko ang konsepto ng storytelling, ganyan. So nakita ko na ito yung mga reasons why crazy, may euphoria. May euphoria
Legit.
sa mundong to. And alam ko na euphoria siya. Gets ba? Yung parang alam kong hibang yung mga tao. Pero how do I anong gagawin ko with this information that I have? And so yan, parang nag-deep dive lang ako. I was just learning about the space. And then nag-start ako bro. Kasi yung mga parang bumibili-bili ako ng mga konting collection, ganyan. Tapos, hanggang sa nakilala ko dun sa space as someone na may taste. Ganon. So, ang nangyari, dahil yung mga binibili kong NFTs, pinapalitan ko siya ng background. Ganon yung pinapalitan ko ng background. Yung mga tao, amazed na amazed sila. Amazed na, yung mga ibang lahi. Yung mga,
yeah.
amazed na amazed sila. How did you do that? For me, remove background lang to. At papalitan ko lang ng ano. Tapos biglang, can you do that for me? Ganyan-ganyan sila. Tapos biglang bibigyan nila ako ng pera. So magre-remove background ako. And then, I will charge something for it. And because of that, people thought I was an artist. When in fact, I was just, ang dali lang ginagawa ko. And then, there was one time na may isang person na, Bay, yun yung kasi name ko. Bay Rock. Check this out. They're looking for 50 artists to collaborate for an auction. Tapos, ang problema, hindi ako artist. Nagre-remove background lang ako. Pero sabi ko, wala namang mawawala sa akin. So, sige, lagay ko yung mga ginawa kong art. Art. Kasi, 50 ang hinahanap nila, bro. Lumabas after parang few days, lumabas yung results kung nakapasok ka sa 50. 51 yung kinuha nila.
Dahil yung ikaw pa yung isa.
At ako yung pang 51. Parang sinabit ako, alam mo yun? Yung, parang 100 yung hinahanap pero 51. Parang, Lord, baka ikaw to. Baka siningit mo ako, ganun. But now I have a bigger problem. What do I do? Anong art yung gagawin ko? Kasi i-auction to, bro.
Okay.
So, chinek ko lahat ng mga 50 artists. Kasi 51
Ano yung
kami.
style nila? Chinek mo?
Lahat sila artist talaga. Like, lahat sila mga matatagal ng mga artist. Ako, nagre-remove background lang ako. So, I felt like I was actually an imposter during that time. Pero I had no choice. Sabi ko, this has to work. Parang I've been to worse. This This is how I roll. Gusto ko yung mga gusto kong gawin sa buhay, yung mga kakaiba.
Yes.
Ganyan. So, I force myself to learn an art style. Pero sabi ko, hindi realistic na nagagawa ako ng drawing. Kasi mahirap gawin yung drawing. Kailangan years yan. Hindi rin pwedeng mag-painting ako. Kasi digital native kami. Yung painting, that's physical na so yun. Hindi ko rin pwedeng gawin na parang mga ibang art style. Kukulangin ako sa time kasi I only had parang 1.5 months to learn. And then I discovered this particular art style. It's called voxels. Voxels is like, imagine there's a pixel. Pixel, di ba? Pixel art. Pero gawin mo 3D. So pixel na 3D. So ganun. Sabi ko, parang madali lang to. Parang Roblox lang, ganun. Tapos nung ginawa ko siya, ang hirap pala. Pero wala na akong choice.
Kasi andun na.
Kailangan ko nang gawin. So natuto ako. Hanggang sa nakagawa ako ng art, pinost ko siya. Para lang mag-practice ako. So yung una kong gawa ng art, parang 5 days ko ginawa. Bro, 4 likes lang pagka-post ko. Sabi ko, Lord, bakit gano'n? 5 days ko ginawa to, 4 likes lang. Ganon. Tapos parang nag-grumble ako. Tapos, parang na-rebuke ako ni Lord. Na parang, Eman, nag-umpisa ka pala. Parang these people, these artists, they have honed their craft for years. And some of them haven't even been recognized. But now you're here. You have this opportunity. Tapos, magre-reklamo ka agad. Parang ganon. Dahil sa 4 likes. Parang, so parang, tuloy ko lang. Mag-persevere lang ako. Persevere. And then, nag-post ako, konti pa lang yung likes, ganyan. Hanggang sa, nag-post ako ng isang artwork, para siyang rotating 3D. Tagal ko rin ginawa yun, pero super happy ako sa piece na yun. Bro, nag-viral siya. Sa Twitter, sa web Twitter. Nag-viral siya. Tapos, people were asking about my work. Ano pa yung iba kong works? Can they buy from me? Paano daw sila makakabili?
Ganun sila ka-euphoric nung time na yun, no?
Yeah. Pero at the same time, parang, kasi yung branding ko, the thing that I was trying to portray dun is, I wanted, kasi because the NFT space that time was filled with, you can say junk. Junk. Pero I wanted to be different kasi hindi ako ganun type of person eh. Hindi ako really after, I don't wanna create bad stuff. So kung gagawa ako, gusto ko maganda na. Gusto ko may puso, may kwento. So yun yung parang, hindi ako nagto-talk about money or anything. I was just telling the stories about the art. Kaya ang na-attract ko na collectors, mga kind-hearted din. Gets ba? Hindi sila yung parang
purist
mga
siguro na
mga gusto lang nila mag-collect ng art. Hindi sila yung parang moon boys.
magbebenta lang after.
Oo, ganun. So, they were genuinely wanted to buy my art. Pero for me, parang, wow, people wanted to buy my art. Ganun. Tapos, may imposter syndrome sa akin na parang, man, parang may lie sa akin na, hindi ka dapat dyan. Papanggap ka lang. Ganun. Pero there was one quiet time that I had with the Lord. Tapos, parang kinausap lang ako ni God. Parang sabi niya, Eman, do you remember how I created you? Ever since you were a kid, you've always been an artist.
Kasi naalala ko, Sir Sandy pa lang, di ba pinag-art ka niya sa Division's press conference.
Yeah, I've been expressing through different mediums. It may not be in visual form. Hindi man siya parang painting or anything. Pero I always wrote. Nagsusulat ako. Stories. Even sports. Ganyan. Nagda-dance ako. Tapos, yung mind ko talaga mas creative kesa sa academic. Even if nag-excel ako sa academics. Parang mas artist talaga ako ever since. So parang, Eman, do you remember how I created you? I've always created you as an artist. Tapos simula nung na-impress sa akin ni Lord John, parang sabi ko, okay, I belong here. I'm not an impostor. That's a lie. I belong here. Tapos, cut natin yung story with the auction. Di ba, 102 kasi 51 artists, each artist will create 2 artworks. In-auction yun, yung work na yun. So dahil 102 artworks yun, 2 yung artworks ko. Yung auction piece ko, bro, top 2 siya sa 102 na yun. Ang pinakamataas na sale.
In ADA, how much ADA?
I forgot how much in ADA pero yung number 1, bro, alam mo ba kung sino yung
Sino?
it's a project backed by Snoop Dogg. What? So, yun yung first. Tapos second yung
Yung sa'yo?
sa akin.
Sana ikaw na lang yun. Back ka ba yung Snoop Dogg?
Pero na-backed kasi by Snoop Dogg eh. So, for sure may pera. How much, kung magkano yung sale na yan?
Oh.
I was able to sell it for 264K
Pesos.
pesos.
Damn.
Pesos, yes. Although that was for parang 60% napunta for a cause, which is I love naman. Yeah. So, hindi napunta sa akin lahat yun. Pero actually, hindi yun yung first sale ko. Hindi yun yung first sale. Kasi, the sale happened June 20, 2021. Di ba sabi ko nag-viral yung isang post, di ba? That gave me the confidence to create my own collection. And then, my collection, yung first collection ko, ang name niya, The First Key.
The first key.
Ang unang susi.
Yeah.
Kasi people nga were clamoring for my work. Parang, Bae, you have to release your work. You have to release art. When is the first sale? Ganyan. So parang sabi ko, kaya ko ba? Dapat, deserve ko ba na magbenta? Ganyan. Pero nilakasan ko na yung loob ko. Tapos yun na, binanta ko yung The First Key. 100 pieces.
Yeah.
100 pieces. And hindi ko alam if it's gonna sell. I was just sure that there will be 3 who will buy. 1, I will be buying for myself. Para lang mayroon akong collection sa sarili ko. 2, from my sister. And 1 friend. Yung parang sure sila na bibili sila. Pero hindi ko alam if the other 97 will be sold. Pero June 12. So, magpa 4 years na.
4 years.
4 years na kasi kahapon yung June 12, di ba? 5 years. 5 years anniversary na pala ng first sale.
Crypto sale mo.
The First Key. So 10 p.m. I hit the enter and I told my community the sale is live. 9 minutes sold out yung first collection ko.
Damn.
So 9 minutes. Sobrang hindi ko in-expect, bro. Hindi ko in-expect na may bibili na mabebenta. Una, hindi na mabebenta yung 100. Pero mas lalo ko hindi ko in-expect na kayang mabenta siya ng 9 minutes. Yun pala, bro. Daming nakaabang. Hindi lang sila nagsasalita kasi ayaw nilang maunahan sila. So yung mga tao, sobrang daming, parang nagsilabasan sila nung 10 p.m. Tapos, after that moment, I was crying. Parang, people bought my work. I think more than the money, it was that eh. Because I had that imposter syndrome nga, di ba? More than the money na gain ko, which is a lot, nung time na yon. Kasi wala kaming pera eh, wala kaming income ng family. It's biglang, it was the fact that people around the world wanted to buy my art. Parang yun yung mas nakaka-touch eh. Tapos nag-chat pa sila, when is the next sale? You have to release again. Ganon. Then, that time, nung yung kinita ko kasi dun sa sale na yun, if I may share, just for context, parang I earned around 250 nung time na yun. Tapos I gave much of it to my parents. First yun na first ko kasi nakita yun eh, technically na malaki. Tapos binigay ko sa kanila nung kinabukasan. Tapos bro, umiyak sila kasi wala kaming income nga. So iyak kasi wala na yung mama ko. Tapos pagka bigay ko ng pera sa papa ko, ang una kong nakita bro, after parang umalis siya, umuwi siya sa bahay, may dala-dala siya na boxes ng grocery. Na parang parang yung unang binili ng tatay ko sa berang binigay ko sa kanya ay para pa rin sa amin. Alam mo yun? Tapos, so yun. And because people nga wanted to buy my work ulit, hindi ako nag-celebrate mo, agad ako nag-work. Gumawa ulit ako ng next. And there was this time na gumagawa ako ng work sa mga 3 a.m. to. Nauhaw ako. Pagkabukas ko ng ref, may nakita akong something doon na first time ko nakita ever sa bahay namin. Pagkabukas ko ng ref, kasi kukuha akong tubig, di ba? May nakita akong bacon, bro. We've never had bacon our whole lives. Hindi ko nga alam kung anong lasa ng bacon eh. Doon ako mas lalong naiyak. Kasi that bacon was, I think it was a wake-up call for me na I have this opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, to change my family's life. So, sa nung night na yun, parang nag-pray lang ako kay God, Lord, make me sell out my next 100. Kasi I was making again, di ba? So, Lord, sana mabenta yung next kong 100 na ibebenta. God answered my prayer and more. Kasi the next sale, 100 pieces, sold out again in 5 minutes. 100 pieces. Next sale ko, 100 pieces ulit, sold out in 4 minutes. Next sale ko, 400 pieces na, dadagdagan na kasi ang dami nang bumibili. Sold out 4 minutes. Next ko, sold out. Kasi nalalagay ako sa mga news channel ng Web3 na Beyond Rock. It's the artist that sells out in seconds. So, yun yung tagline sa akin before. Tapos yung from that prayer to sell out the next 100, to date, I was able to sell 30,000 plus NFTs across 20 plus collections, all sold out. There was never a collection from Beyond Rockets na hindi nabenta. And sa NFT space kasi pag one collection pwedeng ma-sold out, after ng next nila, tenga na yan eh.
Oh.
Hindi na magfa-flop na yung next, ganun. Yun yung
Actually, part ako nun eh. Bumibili ako ng Solana NFTs before. Parang mag-risk ka ng $20 tapos any collection yung makukuha mo. Parang randomized siya.
Yes, randomized siya.
Tapos meron ding grading yun. Tapos some people sell it for $100.
Nag-flip sila.
Nag-flip sila.
Yeah.
Ako kinip ko eh.
Yeah. Kasi different yung mga motivations ng people eh. Pero yun nga, parang usual projects, makakabenta sila. Actually, even selling out one collection is not easy Mahirap yun. Pero yung nga, by God's grace, 20 plus collections all sold out. But we have also helped foundations. We were able to donate a lot to Real Life Foundation, one of the foundations here sa Philippines for education. But more than anything, yung nabago yung buhay ng family ko, bro. Yun yung show off ni God sa akin. Unimaginable siya. Man, who would have thought, diba, na it will happen? Una ka na may ganitong mundo pala. Yun pa lang.
Galing nun.
Tapos, I was there at the right place at the right time. And God made a way for me to be successful in that space. Parang third world country, I was just a kid. I was 21 years old. Tapos nakabenta ako ng 30,000 plus across 20 plus collections in a span of 2.5 years. Yeah.
Galing mo, 20 ilan ka ngayon?
27.
27 ka, nabigyan mo ng bahay yung parents mo. Amazing, grabe. I mean, I can't imagine, like, at that age, hindi ko nga nabigyan yung parents ko ng house eh. Anyways, so now that you're here, now that we have yung bago mong businesses like Beyond Studios and Nothing to Lose, so can you like inform us about kung ano yung mga projects na to?
Yes. I'd love to share about those. Parang, balikan ko lang yung sa house na parang, grabe bro, yung the feeling of just being able to bless your family. hindi ko ma-explain yung feeling na yun. Parang, just from my context of the dreams that I had, seeing my family grow up, yung mga context namin na titinda kami bro, maglalako kami sa daan, na wala kaming sariling mga kwarto, overwork yung family ko, to building them a house, na-bless din kami ng car. So, dati nagka-tricycle yung tatay ko eh. Ngayon bro, may sasakyan na kami. Ano siya eh, parang, doon mo mapapakita na parang, Lord, grabe ka. You really work in ways unimaginable. Na for me to be able to do this at that age, I was able to do that 24, 25. Nung una namin nabili yung lote. So parang, kasi nung projection ko sa buhay, no, parang Lord, hindi ako mag-aasawa. Hindi na ako mag-aasawa kasi kailangan kong tulungan yung family ko eh. So tanggap ko na yun eh, na hindi ako mag-aasawa. Kasi parang feel ko, kailangan mag-upon ako, tapos yung work ko dapat mapupunta lahat sa kanila, ganyan. Pero sabi siguro ni Lord na, hindi ganyan ang plano ko para sa'yo. Iba-bless na kita para mangarap ka naman hindi lang para sa pamilya mo, pero ano naman yung pangarap mo? Ikaw naman. Kasi growing up, it's always for my family eh. Pero sabi ni Lord, man, ikaw naman. Ano naman yung pangarap mo? And then when I was able to, nung nangyari yung success din sa Web3 space, dun na ako nag-start ako ng sarili kong ventures na after my venture in the Web3. So I started Beyond Studios. Beyond Studios is, and then yung, I'll be talking about later yung sa isang startup din. But first, mga 2024, actually before I started Beyond Studios, I took a 6-month sabbatical. Kasi I was burnt out from the space.
Nakaka-burnt out.
Nakaka-burnt out talaga siya. Imagine mo, 30,000 plus. I sold that amount of And then I took a 6-month sabbatical. That was the first time I rested in a very, very, very long time. Pero yung time na yun, it really healed me in many ways. I was able to spend time with family, more time to talk to God, process my thoughts, and heal. Nag-counseling din ako, mga ganyan-ganyan. So after 6 months, then I went, parang nag-Taiwan kasi ako nun. So biglang realize ko na mahilig talaga ako sa creatives talaga. So doon ko ni-start yung Beyond Studios, which is a production. It's a full service creative agency. We work with brands. We do production, media production. We do commercials. Mga branding, ganyan. Motion design. We've done yung branding ng hospital niya. Clinic.
Actually yung clinic namin, Beyond Studios ang gumawa. From a small clinic na 25 years ago pa nagawa. So yung logo namin was very, very old na. Tapos yung branding ng Facebook namin, wala at all. So now, it's a multi-specialty clinic with almost 8 specialties, 9 specialties, ranging from pedia to psych to derma to OB to ENT because of the help of Beyond Studios. So, just a 26-year-old
25 ako na.
25 ka na. 2 years na?
Hindi, 1 year pa
Ay,
lang.
1 year pa lang.
26.
Yeah, 26-year-old who did that. And now, sobrang dami na naming patients. Ang nilang bata and a lot of adults na din ang kinikater namin. So yeah, I think effective yung ginawa natin na promotion.
Yes,
na
thank you for that.
medyo hindi agad okay sa family ko.
Yeah, yun nga yung ang maganda na, kasi when we talk about it, parang when you contacted me, then you shared to me yung kwento, parang I really admired how, first is, I think you love mo for your family, just to be able to think of ways to grow their craft. Ito yung pangkabuhayan ng pamilya mo eh, di ba?
Yeah.
And you care enough to not be lax na, mamanahin ko naman kahit ano lang, di ba? Iba, ganun eh. Pero ikaw, gusto mong pagyamanin yung ginagawa ng family mo. Kaya naisipan mo na from just a child clinic, why don't we create it a full service na clinic na
Multi-specialty.
diba? Na parang it's the future expansion. Kaya when you gave me that briefer, it was clear na eh. It was clear for us. It was easier. I really love how we work together, even yung sa family mo. Na paano natin mapalaga siya, how do we set it up for the future. I think that's one of the things na main natin, na how do we set up your clinic for the future, especially na digital age na eh. The clients, the patients na matatanda, may mga apo yan, may mga anak yan. At yung mga anak na yun, digital native yung mga yan. Hindi naman sila, mahalaga sa kanila yung tsura ng storefront na socials. Diba? So, nag-change na yung trends ng mundo.
Bro, maniwala ka sa akin, sa isang araw, nagme-message sa Facebook namin, siguro more than 10. Dati kaya kong replyan silang lahat.
Wow.
Ako hindi na kaya. May secretary na kami assigned para dun. And makikita mo, hindi lang sila nagtatanong about Dr. Malilin. Tatanungin na lang nila, meron bang doctor sa OB, may IM, which nagkatotoo yung goal and yung vision natin. The main reason why we got Beyond Studios is we wanted the childcare clinic to expand and to move beyond yung years of service namin. We want na full service na siya. Pagpunta mo sa clinic namin, nandun na kayo as a family. Yung anak mo, papacheck up, pati ikaw na mother and father or even yung lolo at lola, pwede mo ding mapacheck up sa mga patients namin. And aside from that, yung mga patients na mom ko ng mga bata before, mga pedya, ngayon teenager na sila, yung iba may pamilya na rin. So yung mga anak nila, papacheck up na. Sila na teenager, matatanda na, dun na sila sa IM. And kapag may problema sila sa IM, ENT, OB, and also as now, meron na kami derma.
May derma, sabi mo.
May psych. Pwede na siya i-refer dun sa clinic namin itself. So sa isang punta mo, full-blown, eventually sana magka-laboratory na kami. And next, siguro, mga other derma services. Siyempre, itatap kita ulit doon kapag kailangan ko.
It's exciting.
ng
Yeah,
promotion.
gusto namin yan. We'd love to collaborate again.
So,
Parang ginawa niyong multi-generational yung clinic.
yes.
Yeah, and set it up for the future. Kaya ginawa natin na graphics doon, even yung mga photoshoot, di ba? Na hindi siya outdated.
Yeah.
Set up for the
And aside from that, hindi lang naman namin gusto tulungan yung patients. Gusto rin namin tulungan yung mga new graduate doctors. Kasi napakahirap mag-start ng practice. So, to start a practice, kailangan mo magkaroon ng sariling space, magkaroon ka ng sariling studio or something. Ng clinic, kailangan mo ng secretary, kailangan mo ng licenses and all. Sa amin, you can just join our clinic free of charge and then may secretary ka na, may promotions ka na. Lahat napopromote ka, napopost ka, sumisikat ka, and at the same time, may referrals ka din. So, napapadali niya yung adjustment from a newly graduated physician or kumbaga kung creatives ka, a newly graduated creatives, ina-absorb ka namin and matutulungan ka namin and eventually you can start your own practice. So yun yung vision of the child care clinic before, in which now the Tuguegarao City Adult and Child Care Clinic. Baliktad pa.
Child and Adult Clinic.
Child and Adult Care Clinic. So yeah. So yun
Tuguegarao Child and Adult Care Clinic.
Yeah.
Yes, I still remember.
So, yeah, napakagaling nung Beyond Studios. And I think yung kulang pa pala din. So, kulang pa yung grasp ng people about Beyond Studios. So, I think you can share more about maybe how it started, what you do, or what's your vision as a company.
Yes. So, yung Beyond, parang our tagline for Beyond Studios is to go beyond. Now, we don't just create. We propel these brands to go the extra mile, go beyond their expectations, or mas mag-expand yung businesses nila. And we do that through strategies. We craft stories for them to expand their business, expand their reach, and also tell what they do. So recently, yung client namin is si Sir Albert Martinez. So siya yung ambassador for Philippine Constructors Association. So it's the group of engineers, of contractors. Tapos meron silang mga expo, yung PhilConstruct. It's parang dun lahat ng mga construction companies nagkikita-kita sa SMX. Different from may Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, may Manila. And na-elevate niya yung construction industry sa Philippines. Ang maganda dito, lahat ng mga companies that are compliant, alam naman natin yung mga kwento sa construction sa Philippines. But these are all accredited, clean, good record companies. And then si Sir Albert, yung Albert Martinez, yung ambassador nun. And I was also able to talk to him, interview him, share his insights. So yun, parang yung mga vision ng mga brands, ng mga companies, translate namin yun sa Beyond Studios. We also do motion design. Meron kaming mga clients with Unilever. We have also, kami din yung sa mga Franchise Asia. We had a client na DITP, yung Department of Trade sa Thailand. We've also been to, kami din yung production for Philippine International Furniture Show.
Nakita ko yun.
Yes, in Interior Design Manila. So yung mga ganyan, just some of the clients that we had in Beyond Studios. Malaki pa yung gagawin ng Beyond eh. Actually, there will be a relaunch this year. So yun, parang just Beyond is for the brands that want to go beyond. Magkakaroon din ng bagong vertical si Beyond, which is Us and Beyond. It's been ongoing. Us and Beyond is, kasi Beyond Studios and there's Us and Beyond. Us and Beyond is our wedding and prenup studio. So we craft naman stories of love stories of people, couples. So nag-shoot na kami for some weddings and prenups. So may mga naghahanap ng prenup dyan, na artsy,
Exciting.
ganyan. So that's one. That's some of the things na ginagawa namin for Beyond Studios.
Grabe. Dami mong ginagawa. Siguro dahil marami ka nang ginagawa no high school, helpful yun dahil sanay ka na eh. Diba?
Yes.
Ako din actually ngayon, parang kailangan may Saturday, Sunday may ginagawa ko eh. Like now, like holiday yesterday, tapos Saturday dapat may gawin ako. Sabi ko, kailangan maging productive yung gagawin ko.
Hindi mo kaya na parang isa lang.
Hindi pwede.
Yeah, tanggap ko na yun sa buhay ko na parang I don't think I'm for a one lane na buhay. Parang I have to be multifaceted.
Yeah.
What began as a small pediatric clinic has now grown into a dedicated space for healing. From one doctor to a team. From serving children, parents, and even grandparents. For 25 years, we've watched families grow, and now it's time we grow with them. At Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic, our foundation is built on values that define how we care, how we lead, and how we grow. We lead with compassion, we strive with excellence, and we embrace innovation. Our vision moving forward is to become your family's one-stop healthcare partner, a clinic built around your life. These are more than words, they are who we are. At Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ellen P. de Guzman.
I'm Mylene Medrano Kilang.
I'm Dr. Christine Campos S. Alona.
Dr. Iverson S. Cruz.
And I am Dr. Minerva B. Malilin, your trusted pediatrician.
Our vision is to be a trusted family-oriented, multi-specialty clinic known for quality of service, patient-oriented care across all ages. Because your health matters at every age and every season. Tugigaraw Child and Adult Care Clinic. Healthcare that grows with you.
So, yeah, going back to like yung bago kong nakita mong project. So, yung Nothing to Lose. So, napakaganda, napakagaling na idea. I think it's very promising kasi user ako ng Kahoot. I know Kahoot and ginamit siya sa latest na event sa birthday ng mother-in-law ko. So, tuwang-tuwa yung mga tao. So, can you share our listeners, about Nothing to Lose?
Nice. Nothing to Lose actually is a tech startup business that I started with my two friends. So, tatlo kaming partners dito. Tatlo kaming co-founders. Si Jack and si Apple. They're both summa cum laudes from UP. They're also partners. So, tas friends kami for 7 years.
Baka you're looking for another partner. Joke lang.
Why not? Why not? We're looking for an investor actually. And partners. So yun, parang 3 friends kami that started this. And the common thing about us kasi is we love connecting people. We love connecting people. And we love hosting people. Kami parang even sa mga kanya-kanya na yung buhay. Si Jack, siya yung parang sa community niya, sa school niya, sa Maksay kasi siya eh. Siya yung kilala as someone na, siya yung, pag may games, si Jack yung pupuntahan mo. Parang ganun. So, pag mga games siya yung nagpapalaro doon. Si Apple naman, she's from Pisay. As pareho silang UP. So, cum laude sila. Tapos si Apple naman is from Pisay. Tapos, nag-host siya ng mga games. Nung birthday niya, I was part of that. Nagpa-J party siya sa community namin. Sobrang saya ng game. So yun, parang, tapos ako naman, nag-host ako na for 1 year straight. Every week, ng game night dun sa community ko, dun sa may Beyond Rockets. Kasi parang it's my way of keeping the connection. Nag-host ako ng game night every week for 1 year. International community yon. So, yun, parang pare-pares kami may ganong context. And pare-pares kaming friends. And then, last year, we thought na, why don't we start a company together? Yan. A tech company. And yun nga, yung sa Kahoot, parang ganun yun yung isa sa mga inspirations namin. But now, mas nag-evolve na kami. I can say na yung Kahoot kasi is just quizzes eh.
Yeah.
So Nothing to Lose, it's sobrang iba-ibang mga activities. So Nothing to Lose is a platform for ready-to-run activities that make people click. Makes people click. Sorry, ulitin ko lang kasi maling grammar pala eh. So Nothing to Lose is a platform for ready-to-run activities. It's designed to make people click. So parang there's one host and then there's one screen and people use their phones to join the game and play the game. So they can play this online and offline and face-to-face. So yun, parang mag-enter lang. So may game, di ba? You're the host. You create a game. Kung gusto mo na may icebreakers, gusto mo na may game, gusto mo na may raffle, kayang gawin yun in one sitting. If you have 10 minutes lang, may game kayo for that. Kung gusto mo 30 minutes, meron kaya din yun. Kung gusto mo 2 hours, makaka-customize mo rin siya. And there's also a layer of AI. So it will help you create the questions. So it's very easy to use. Very quick na, sobrang dali niya, self-explanatory. You just need to go to Nothing to Lose that live. And then, so yan, parang people join through their QR, lalaro sila. Actually, just a few days, kanina, meron kaming hinost na event. It's for a team in UP Town Center sa Katipunan, Victoria Katipunan. And then, just few days ago, so mga 3 days ago, we hosted an alumni event for 150 participants. So all of those people played Nothing to Lose in person. So may human bingo. So imagine mo yung human bingo, di ba? Parang yung typical human bingo is printed, tapos magpipirma sila, di sila nag-uusap-usap. Ito tech siya. So you use your phone, and then there's tiles. Tapos, kunwari may tile dito na, let's say yung tile is, you love, let's say you love corn. Tapos, mahilig ka ba sa mais? Ganyan. Tapos biglang, yung pagpirma niya, it's you taking the selfie with the person. Tapos, after na mag-take ng selfie, there's a lock na kailangan nyo mag-usap, there's a prompt. So, hindi lang kayo nagpipirmahan. Nag-uusap din kayo. So, it's designed to make people know each other. The game is, yung mechanism ng game, it allows the people to have a cringe-free activity. Ganon. Tapos, pag nabuo mo yung buong tile, edi meron kang selfie ng iba-ibang mga kasama mo dun sa event. So imagine mo so that's just one of the event, the games that we have in the app. So imagine mo, wedding. Hindi magkakakilala yung tao. Just use that. Hindi mo kailangan mag-print. Outdated na yung mga printed na human bingo.
Namin yung use case pwede sa wedding, pwede sa events,
Yes.
sa team building, sa
Yes.
school. Basically, anything with more than 10 or more people, pwede mo siyang gamitin.
Exactly.
May IP na ba kayo dyan? Kailangan ni IP
Yes.
na.
Incorporated na kami. Tapos, actually, I'm happy that you're able to say that kasi that's the vision actually for Nothing to Lose. For it to be used in different group settings. As long as there's a lot of people in your group, you can use Nothing to Lose. So, imagine mo wedding. Imagine mo mga team building activities. Even sa conferences.
Conferences ng doktor.
Yes.
Conferences ng lahat ng specialties. Engineers, doctors, whatever. Every day, meron yan sa SMX. Pwede nilang gamitin yun.
Exactly. So, it's a tech-powered experience. So, sa kahit actually, we have 2 arms. So, the first one is like the subscription model. So, you can use our app. You just pay a monthly subscription. You can host it yourself. But we also have the service arm. So, we host the event ourselves. So, kung may mga event ka, just stop us. Kunwari, 100 people kayo. Kasi yung app nyo namin, there's a limit to the number of people you can use. Parang up to 50. Ganyan. Tapos, it's up to 50 actually. Kung more than na, it's time na to go to us directly na. So, we'll provide everything. Kung wala pa kayong screen, makapaprovide namin yan. Host kami din. Even the highlights, the parang reels, content, ganun. We also have the mga paraphernalia. So, if you want to connect your people, make them bond, make them click both literally and figuratively. Nothing to Lose is the way to go. So, and for example, yung sa Real Life Foundation, alumni event to across 2 decades. Different people, hindi sila magkakilala. Bro, nung natapos yung event, nagtatawanan sila lahat. Ganun yung power of Nothing to Lose. It allows the people to talk and bond and connect among each other. Tapos may isa pa kaming game, yung Built Different. Yun, isa na madalas naming nilalaro yun. So, masaya din yan. Super saya din yan na game. And there will be a lot of upcoming games pa.
I really see promise dito sa project mo na to. Maybe timestamp natin to ngayon, June 13. I think eventually makikita yan ng isa sa mga investors or like any big person and use it and really magiging popular yan. Feeling ko. Like, or I hope magsalita kayo sa Shark Tank or whatever. Grabe yun pag nag-Shark Tank kayo, idol ko na kayo.
Wow, that's the dream. That's the dream.
Diba? Para it's a Shark Tank-ish na project diba? Yung magpipitch ka doon. And yun yung una ko nakita nung una, hindi ko pa siya nagigets. Tinitingnan ko. Very, very shallow yung pagtingin ko. Nung naalala kita, inaral ko siya. Ang galing pala nung concept. And it's one of the things that very important sa mga events natin. So, good luck dun sa project na yun. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And good luck to the team. If you need one more guy, medyo busy lang. Joke.
Yeah, I'm so thankful. Actually, if you may allow us, I would love to give some of our viewers a pro access code.
Pwede,
So,
no?
pwede i-arrange yan. Yeah.
Pwede yung like the nth viewer can get an access code
Yes.
or something.
So, baka pwede, kung gusto mo, magpa-raffle ka sa community mo and then
Pwede
we'll
din.
give maybe 10 codes.
Pwede.
Pro access. Magagamit nila for 1 month.
Yeah. And we'll promote your product
Yes,
as well.
yes,
no?
oo.
See. So it's 5:27. So I think we've tackled a lot about your story. I've seen yung story mo. I've seen how you've grown as a person. I've seen your failures and I've seen your success. I've heard of a lot of your success. And what can you say to the people who believed in you, or like as a parting message para sa mga listeners natin in the podcast?
Wow, thank you. First, to the people that believed in me and rooted for me, advocated for me. Thank you. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without all of you. Parang, again, I always acknowledge it that it took a village, it took a whole city for me to get here. Sobrang daming taong nag-advocate. Actually, even nga yung mga just you inviting me here is, you're one of the people that roots for me, and I feel that I'm very thankful of that. Even you trusting us sa beyond non. So sa lahat ng mga tao, sobrang thankful lang ako, and I really thank God for these people na, and I will always acknowledge that na it's always by the grace of God that I'm here. Lahat naman to miracle eh. Yung nangyari sa family ko, nakakaroon kami ng bahay, yung nangyari sa NFT. Sobrang tayo pa mga mini stories, hindi ko naman share lahat. Pero yung parang, Lord, ikaw na to. Ikaw na tong gumawa ng paraan. So that's, so sobrang thankful ako. Thank you sa inyong lahat. To the people naman, mga viewers natin, siguro some parting message is, huwag kayong tumigil mangarap. Just dream. Dream and dream and dream. Because we can dream because we have someone that fulfills that dream for us. If it's according to His will. Parang, I'm reminded of the verse na parang, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans not to harm you, plans to prosper you, and to give you hope in a future. Parang, because of my confidence in the Lord, yun yung reason kung ba't ako nakakahangarap eh. Hanggang ngayon naman, nangangarap pa din ako eh. Nangangarap ako na lumaki ang Beyond. Nangangarap ako na lumaki yung Ventures, As and Beyond. Nangangarap ako na lumaki ang Nothing to Lose. Nangangarap ako para sa future family ko. Nangangarap ako para sa parents ko at sa sister ko. Nangangarap ako din yun, magiging future family, future marriage. Yun, nangangarap ako. But I know I can be confident because the Lord is with me. And that same confidence, I hope you can have that confidence too, because si Lord din para sa inyo din. Para sa inyo. So yan, wag mag-stop mag-dream because may backer tayo, si Lord din. So yun, I think yun yung some of the things na masasabi ko before we end this.
Thank you so much, Eman, for going. And I knew, alam ko, and this was gonna be one of my best episodes. And it is one of my best episodes. The story, grabe. And thank you. You are very inspiring. I'm very much inspired and motivated by you. If meron man akong gusto yung anak ko maging is parang ikaw.
Oh.
Yeah. Very God-fearing, very hardworking, and napagaling. So yeah, thank you for coming. And hopefully, this video reaches everyone. Mga teachers natin sa Cagayan High before who gave us everything, who gave us their time and effort in teaching us. Mga teachers who supported us. This is for you. Ito yung products of your success, of your hard work. Ito kami ngayon. I'm a doctor. He's a very creative businessman. And we are doing this for you. We're doing this for the students who are inspired. Who are currently dreaming to become someone. And we're doing this for the people of Tuguegarao and all the other kids there dreaming. So yeah, I think that ends. Thank you so much. And this is the Homegrown Podcast.
Yay! Thank you, bro. Thank you. Grabe.